Do you have special talents? Would you like to change the world? Would you like to contribute to the atheist cause? Then why not join AtheismTV? We're looking for hosts for our various shows. A news writer, a video editor, a news anchor, or the host of your own show. Any of these volunteer positions are available for you to leave a mark via the Atheism TV collaboration channel. Now is your chance to shine and make a difference. Contact us today.
American politician Ted Cruz is acknowledged as a leader in the Republican Tea Party movement. The Tea Party is a relatively small group that has created an atmosphere of no compromise when dealing with the opposition. This has created many problems for average Americans, the Republican Party and the government as a whole. Dubbed the Party of No, the Tea Party Republicans have been led by Cruz on a campaign to implement an odd Christian doctrine into government operations. Known as the Purifying Fire Ministries, this dubious woo-woo group counts among its pastors Rafael Cruz, who also happens to be Ted's dad. As the American government shutdown loomed closer, Cruz stepped up his anti-Obama rhetoric while adding a sinister twist of religion. Cruz claims that implementing the Affordable Care Act is just another part of President Barack Obama's attack on religion. According to the senator from Texas, the so-called attack is part of some deep and sinister long-term plot to implement socialism. Senator Cruz prefers a Christian-dominated country and has endorsed the use of black robe tactics to see that through. A black robe regiment is a modern term coined by Christian revisionist David Barton that references preachers during the Revolutionary War who wore black robes over their army uniform. According to Barton's version of history, these preachers were the backbone of America's revolutionary soldiers. They would preach on Sunday and then go out and fight for independence with their congregation the rest of the time. Cruz's real motives are dark and sinister, and some say disturbing. The senator from Texas wants to encourage our pastors today not to hide behind their pulpits, but take the spirit of the Black Robe Regiment. The goal of the radical religious right in America is nothing less than a dominion over the entire world. The plan is dubbed as an end times transfer of wealth. Its aim is to garner the spoils and return them to the church for God's use. According to Rafael Cruz, certain Christians will be specifically chosen by God to administer this transfer of wealth. They have even gone as far as calling themselves God's bankers. According to Papa Cruz, God is choosing how to divvy up this wealth over the next 3.5 years, and is deciding who is trustworthy enough to be his bankers. It is then that God's bankers will shepherd in the coming of the Messiah. Archbishop Joseph Michalek, Poland's head of the Roman Catholic Episcopate, stirred a controversy while speaking during the opening of the plenary session of Polish bishops. Speaking about the pedophile priest controversy, Michalek implied that divorce had a casual role. Said Michalek, "How many wounds are inflicted when parents divorce? We often hear that this inappropriate attitude or abuse manifests itself when a child is seeking love." Continuing to hammer home his argument, Michalek then said of a hypothetical child whose parents are divorcing, "It clings, it searches, it gets lost itself, and then draws another person into this." No sooner had these remarks been broadcast on Polish television than social media answered. Reaction against the apparent victim-blaming attitude implicit in these statements was swift and widespread. A news conference was quickly called so that church authorities could label the comments a slip of the tongue. Said Michalik, "The context of my comment was as follows. A child is always innocent, but it can be hurt not only by priests, but also by its own environment. The infidel would like to note that a child can also be harmed by running with scissors, by horseplay on a swimming pool deck, and by clergy who downplay their own responsibility." In a recent blog post on iPolitics, Paul Adams, a political science and journalism teacher and an author in his own right, waxed philosophical about how effective a reformer Pope Francis would ultimately prove to be. He noted that while many have embraced the new Pope's attitude towards homosexuality, church extravagance and other progressive policy preferences, most of those cheering the new pontiff's openness are no longer active in the church. The majority of those who loyally remain in the pews on a weekly basis are the more conservative types, many who remember the days before Vatican II with nostalgic reverence. Adams even goes so far as to hypothesize that the College of Cardinals probably wishes it had made a different choice writing. It seems unlikely that the College of Cardinals knew exactly what they were in for when they chose him last spring, and they probably wouldn't repeat their mistake if they had to vote again now. One example of the problem faced by the Church in reining back the new progressiveness occurred in Germany, when one liberal diocese began allowing divorced Catholics to take communion and other sacraments. A Vatican spokesman issued a statement that it would be a year before the Pope would take the issue under official advisement.